Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be playing a different RuneCraft deck. This is a Mysteria based one. We did get a couple of really nice Mysteria additions with the expansion. Mysteria Mogul is an absolutely amazing card because it does give you Mysteria Butler, which means effectively you have two Mysteria cards in one at a very cheap cost of 4, which is amazing. And then we have, of course, the core, which is actually a really nice way to get the draw power that you might need, while also gaining the advantage of having some recovery play points, which is always nice. We're also running a single Hannah Mysterian Paragon, for the fact that we can get the Mysterian knowledges out of it, which is actually really nice as well. So other than that, most of the Mysteria decks stay the same, mainly focusing on Student Teacher, getting you the advantage with Anne. We can actually pull off some pretty insane Anne plays and stuff where you literally just flood the board as quickly as possible, and that is awesome. So we're going to get right into this and check it out. So the first game we have here is against Sword. We are going first, which is an okay position to be in. I wouldn't want to be behind, which should give us a pretty decent chance with the Mysteria cards. I actually decided to hold all of these. It was a little bit risky because we were going to need to rely on our draw power to get some decent low drops to play with them, but at least the first card we got was a reasonably cheap one.
Mysteria. This takes me back.
Ooh, green mean hammering machine. Not really an issue for us. We're just going to keep going with the Mysteria cards and draw and whatever else we can get at this moment. I'm really just focusing on trying to play out whatever Mysteria I can, and Mysterian Mogul is an amazing card for that. Being able to spell boost everything in our hand by 2, or Mysteria boost.
I'll show you why I am fit to rule. Verifying access. I'll be taking my leave now.
But of course we get some really nice plays here when we can play the Light Mage to really bolster our hand up with even more Mysteria cards. But we do have to trade it into the 6/4 if we don't want to take massive chunks of damage, so we are losing that immediately, which is a little disappointing. And now it's just a matter of taking advantage of whatever I can. Since we can go for a reasonably cheap Light Mage again, we can actually stock our hand up with even more Mysteria cards to play for this match. So the strike plus some pretty decent Anns here, 2 cost, 3 cost, and 3 cost on turn 6 is extremely cheap for Ann plays. Now our opponent really hasn't played anything too dominating here. The 6/8 is a little bit of an annoyance because of course it does have the ability to destroy things on Clash, which is a nightmare to deal with. At this stage all I can really do is leave that up and just flood the Mysteria as much as I can, and try and avoid taking too much from it. And then we go for the extra, and just for the extra, of course, summoning. So we have a reasonably solid board. For them to take this out, they should have to expend a reasonable amount of cards. And this isn't a bad way to do it. So they are going to be able to take these out, which doesn't look good for me, especially with that repair mode. So I'm going to have to expend this Mysterian Right just to stay in the game, and ram out and summoning. And really just play anything I can at this point to stay alive while chipping in a little bit of damage to bring them within range of our Ann Sorcery for turn 10. It really is a great win condition to go for in this deck in particular, and I had a lot of success playing this deck currently. So now it's just a matter of surviving this turn, which shouldn't be too hard. And really just spamming as many Mysteria followers as I can so that Ann Sorcery has as high a value as possible. Which at this point I believe is over 20. And even if it isn't, it should be extremely powerful and enough to knock them out. So there's the repair mode, the healing a little bit, not really an issue. And we still have the end sorcery to finish this off. For exactly 20 damage. Couldn't ask for a much better way to finish that game. For our next match, we are up against a Rune. So we have the Rune on Rune matchup. So the Light Mage, Windblast, and Fate's Hand, not the greatest lineup of cards to use, but I will have to make do. Honestly, it's not the worst possible thing, but it's definitely very clunky of a hand. At least we can use this Wormest here to buff the couple of Mysteria cards down to 6 and 8 respectively. And now we actually got Mogul, which is great. It gives us something to do this turn and next turn. So, came in Mysterium Butler, that's okay. Going for that. Really, we're just hoping to get the Light Mage out next turn, really reasonably cheap. That way, allowing us to hopefully take this game into the early to late game section where we can hopefully get Mysterium Prodigies and Sorcery for 9. We will have to hold on to an Evo or wait till turn 8, either one. Whichever comes first. But we are weakening them enough that it shouldn't matter. Mecha-Wing Angel. That's actually okay, so these assembly droids are not really a threat. Does look like they're playing more of an Earth structured deck, so no surprise there. And we can pretty much just take this in any direction we want from now. Which is great. Now we could have went for the Anne and of course the Student next turn. But I think Light Mage is definitely a much better contender for next turn's line of play. Splendid. Yeah, Splendid's okay. We'll take that. Right there, we'll take that 1 damage. So, Light Mage with a trade. Should do the job nicely. And we'll probably play this Anne now, so that we can use, of course, Student next turn. It's the only reason I didn't go for the other Mysteria cards. Because Student on 8 and then Ant Sorcery on 9 should win us the game. And we can actually use the Student to ram into one of these followers since it is going to be evolved. So that worked out really nicely. Being able to target Ant Sorcery for 9. Setting us up for victory next turn. So our opponents made their best effort, but it's really not going to be enough to win this game. As this will just win us the game. Straight up win. So I think it definitely had a lot more fun playing this rune deck than the other rune deck, mainly because this one just felt a lot more streamlined and a lot better as far as playability goes. I'm sure these decks will still be changing as things go on, but this one is quite comfortable and feels alright. I suppose the core might be eventually changed out for more Mysteria support, but outside of that, this deck seems really solid and definitely would recommend you play it if you've got the cards to do so. It's also considered reasonably cheap running 0 legendaries, so if this does become a top meta deck again, Mysteria really will be one of the cheapest to play. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. You will find the deck list in the description below. Until next time, see ya.